from the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Good morning, people. How are you doing, gang? James Azar here with your practitioner brief. It is April 6th, 2021. Welcome to today's show. I'm so excited. We were off yesterday. For those who missed us, I'm sorry. I know it must have been difficult. You were going through withdrawal symptoms. I was as well, but I took a mental health day. I needed it. It was post-Easter. Not everyone worked on Easter Monday. Kind of took some time. Rewind. We need that in cybersecurity. We need that as practitioners. When have you taken time just for you? That's so important, folks. And it's something that we definitely need to do more of. We've got a lot of things to talk about today. A GitHub story, VMware patch, a CISA and FBI warning, a China-linked attack on Vietnam, a Microsoft outage, and we'll talk a little bit about the Facebook data leak that's left 533 million users' information just out there on the web. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Thank you so much for tuning in live and watching us. Please make sure to comment, subscribe if you're listening after the fact on your favorite podcast listening platform. Please make sure to do two things. One, subscribe. Number two, give us a 5-star rating, and make sure to let all your colleagues and friends know about the podcast. Today's show is supported by our friends over at KnowBefore and the great folks over at Ativo Networks. All of our folks are great, by the way. I love the companies that are part of our podcast. Really good, diverse group of partners that are really helping support our show and elevate us to where we need to go. Tomorrow, a new CISO talk drop with Monica Verma, the CISO over at the Norwegian Department of Health. You guys are going to love it. Monica also has kind of her own little show as well. We go and talk a lot over, kind of managing crises and security. You don't want to miss tomorrow's episode. That's for absolute sure. So without further ado, our ceremonial coffee sip. I couldn't forget that, folks. Whatever you're drinking, let me know, comment below. My customary double espresso, although different coffee today. So I don't know if you guys shop at Sprouts. I do. My wife loves Sprouts. Sprouts has espresso capsules. That's organic coffee. And they're really affordable. Like they're like $3 or $4 for like 10 capsules, which is insane cheap, right? Like if you buy espresso capsules, they're typically 60 to 70 cents. And it's organic and it's really, really good. So this is my Sprouts espresso capsule. And the stuff smells amazing, by the way, as well. So not some cheap stuff. So cheers. All right, let's get into what's happening from a risk, impact, and mitigation perspective. So GitHub Actions is currently being abused by attackers to mine cryptocurrency on GitHub servers in an automated attack. GitHub's Action is a CI/CD solution that makes it easy to set up periodic tasks for automating your software workflow. This particular attack described adds a malicious GitHub action code to the repositories forked from legitimate ones, and further creates a pull request for the original repository maintainers to merge the code back. But an action is not required by the maintainers of the legitimate project for the attack to succeed. Bleeping Computer has also observed the malicious code load a misaimed crypto miner npm.exe from GitLab and run it with the attacker's wallet address. Additionally, after initially reporting on the incident, Bleeping Computer has come across a copycat attack targeting more GitHub projects in this manner. The forks legitimate code, which adds a crypto miner and merges it back. This was according to Dutch security engineer Justin Purdock. They've been targeting GitHub repositories that use GitHub Actions to mine crypto. We all know that cryptocurrency mining now is at an all-time high, and it's a priority for a lot of attackers. If you haven't seen it, it's something really, really important to take a look at. These attackers are mining crypto because, one, Bitcoin's almost at 60,000. all cryptos are sky high. The value of the dollar is decreasing. And as long as we have high inflation, and as long as the trust in the dollar is going to go down, there's going to be more and more attempts to go into crypto, and now more than ever. In fact, I've observed through different threat intelligence sources that I use where we've seen an increase in chatter around mining crypto. And again, mining crypto by all standards is not a crime. It's not. You can prosecute it on computer crime, but it's a very low level crime. So the risk just isn't there because you're not stealing data. You're not stealing money. You're just simply using resources. And I know that's theft. I'm not saying it's not theft, but that's the chatter I'm seeing. And that's what I want to bring back to you folks is the fact that these guys are really sophisticated in doing this stuff. We're going to see more and more of it. Time to set some controls in place. One, you got to set some controls over your CI/CD pipeline. You've got to set up some controls over your SLDC. And by controls, I mean, one, have automated code reviews. It's critical to have automated code reviews that are able to go through and see any injections. Number two, focus on your repositories. GitHub and GitLab have amazing security teams. Reach out to them. See how you can work together on identifying risks that exist within specific projects that your DevOps team is using over a period of time. These are all really, really important things, and these are like steps that we can take in order to reduce our risk. So VMware Patch is a critical flaw in the Carbon Black Cloud workload. The CVE itself, which is a critical vulnerability, has been addressed in the VMware Carbon Black Cloud workload, which could be abused to execute code on a vulnerable server. This is according to a warning from a security researcher who discovered the bug. This is tracked as CVE 2021-219-82 and features a CVSS score of 9.1. The recently addressed vulnerability resides in the administrative interface for the appliance and exists because attackers could bypass authentication through manipulation of a URL on the interface. A malicious actor with network access to the administrator interface of the VMware Carbon Black Cloud workload appliance may be able to obtain a valid authentication token, granting access to the administration API of the appliance, according to VMware in their own advisory. The company also explains that an attacker is also able to successfully exploit the vulnerability, would be able to view and tamper with administrative configuration settings, and VMware's Carbon Black Cloud workload is used by organizations to protect workloads on virtualized environments, offering tools for vulnerability assessments, antivirus, and threat hunting. The inquiry, a CyberWeek inquiry, Positive Technologies researchers Igor Dmytrenko, who was credited with finding the vulnerability, explains that an attacker could actually exploit the bug to execute arbitrary code on a server, and that there is a vulnerability in place, this critical flaw. There is a new version release, version 1.0.2 of VMware Carbon Black Cloud workload appliance to address this vulnerability, and you want to make sure to apply it if you're using it. CISA and FBI warn of attacks targeting the Fortinet FortiOS vulnerability. The U.S. government is warning that APT actors are actively exploiting vulnerabilities in the Fortinet FortiOS in an ongoing attack targeting commercial, government, and technology service networks. The warning issued by a joint advisory by the FBI and CISA, which has become kind of common. The two agencies warned that over the past month, threat actors have been observed targeting three vulnerabilities in Fortinet FortiOS, namely CVE 2018-13379er, CVE 2020-12812, and CVE 2019-559er1. To date, the observed activity only involved the scanning of devices on ports 4443, 8443, and 10443 for the FortiOS SSL VPN with portal flaw, as well as enumeration of devices potentially vulnerable to the other two security bugs. However, attacks may escalate unexpectedly. According to the FBI and CISA warning, APT actors have historically exploited critical vulnerabilities to conduct distributed denial of service attacks, ransomware attacks, structured query language injection attacks, spear phishing campaigns, website defacements, and disinformation campaigns. The two agencies also point out that the recently observed activity surrounding the three Fortinet 40OS is likely aimed at providing threat actors with access to the networks of commercial, government, and technology service organizations. To stay protected, they are advised to immediately apply the patches that are available from Fortinet. Please, please, please do so now. You guys understand how critical that is. China linked, I think this is Cycldek hackers are targeting the Vietnamese government and military since January, essentially December of last year, January, in the period of time that the US was going through our peaceful transition to power. China has become increasingly aggressive in Southeast Asia from Taiwan perspective, and also of a bunch of the nations that are around the South China Sea, Vietnam included. Cycldek is known for actively targeting of governments in Southeast Asia. Their preference is targets in Vietnam. In June of last year, the group was revealed to have used a piece of custom malware to exfiltrate data from air-gapped systems, a clear sign of evolution for a group considered less sophisticated, according to Kaspersky. Running between June of 2020 and January of 2021, the campaign relied on an infection chain that used DLL sideloading to deliver malicious code that would eventually deploy a remote access Trojan to provide the attackers with full control over compromised machines. As part of the attack against the high-profile Vietnamese organization, a legitimate component from Microsoft Outlook was being abused to load a DLL that would run a shellcode that was acting as a loader for the found core RAT. China remains an aggressive actor in cyberspace. China remains a threat for all organizations. If you are not talking about China in the boardroom, if you're not talking about China with your teams, you are missing the eight balls, my friend. China is a significant threat to our organizations, to our personal lives, and it's one where we see their maliciousness continue across the globe. Now, right here with Vietnam, something that really needs to be addressed. A Microsoft outage was caused, and here's the headline, folks, by an overloaded Azure DNS server. So Microsoft revealed that Thursday's worldwide outage was caused by a code defect that allowed the Azure DNS service to become overwhelmed and not respond to DNS queries. This impacted numerous services, including Xbox Live, Office, SharePoint, Intune, Dynamics 365, Teams, Skype, Exchange Online, OneDrive, Yammer, Power BI, Power Apps, OneNote, Microsoft Managed Desktop, and Microsoft Streams. The service was so widespread within Microsoft's infrastructure that even their Azure status page, which is used to provide outage info, was inaccessible. The outage was resolved, I believe, within about an hour and 10 minutes or so by 6:30 p.m. here EST, with some services taking a bit longer to function again properly. Something to keep in mind that even this kind of stuff does happen. And we'll end with this note. Facebook data on 533 million users was posted online. That includes phone numbers, Facebook IDs, birth dates, gender, and location. Here's the thing about this stuff. I don't want to say I don't care. It's Facebook. We've come to know that once a year there's something that's gonna. Facebook is too big not to have incidents happen. Okay. There's a bunch of different arguments being done here, but here's the big one. Here's where the risk lies. Phone numbers. Phone numbers equal multi-factor authentication, equals people getting access to different accounts through stolen credentials. And now with having an MFA, I can do a SIM swap, I can take over an account, and I can get that text message delivered to me and not to you, take over your bank accounts, take over your email, and so forth. If you're not using a multi-factor authentication app, do so right now. Go into Facebook, change your password, update your information. If you're using your real birthday on Facebook, I pity the people, you typically should have a fake birthday and your real friends would know what your real birthday is. And then people who are just, kind of watching you live life on Facebook would wish you a birthday on, April 1st, as an example. So with that being the case, keep that in mind. Folks, that's it for our practitioner brief today. We'll be back tomorrow with a lot more here on the show. A new CISO Talk podcast is dropping tomorrow. ATP Cyber FinTech, April 27th, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. That's 3 weeks from today. You want to tune in for that. It's going to be an awesome, awesome event. It's virtual and live. So if you're in the Atlanta area, you can get your tickets right now at atpcyberfintech.com. If you're a CISO and you want a free pass, contact me on LinkedIn. I'll get you in for sure. And you can also watch live online. Virtual is free, so you can go sign up now virtually. Quick comment here from Jonathan Bradford, who's drinking a Dunkin' Donut hazelnut. Not hard to please. Yeah, I get it. It's very not hard to please when you enjoy Dunkin' Donuts coffee, but Dunkin' Donuts is still better than Starbucks. I'll give you that much. Thank you so much for the comment, Roger. Happy that you find the content effective and helpful. Please make sure to share the content as well on your time feed or just tag a few people that would find it to be beneficial for them as well. We'll be back with more tomorrow, live every single day, Monday through Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. A new CISO Talk podcast tomorrow with Monica Varma. Tomorrow night, the Tech Town Square, we're going to be having a conversation around how nation states are now teaching terror organizations cyber capabilities, and a very, very interesting story that's bound to make your hairs on the back of your neck stand up. So you don't want to miss that. That'll also be live right here on YouTube, Facebook, and my personal LinkedIn page, James J. Azar. So tune into that 8 p.m. tomorrow. Till then, folks, thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day and stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.